and now you want to sell it for whatever reasons and buy another property in a different area, or you're moving out of state, or you want to buy a commercial property instead of a residential property, whatever the reason you may be. So let's suppose you bought it at 500 and now you're selling it for $1 million after 10, 15 years. So you technically have a gain of $500,000. Obviously, you want to take into account your expenses that you made into the property, improvements that you made in the property. So those are expenses, but just for this purposes, let's say you have a gain of $500,000. So if you just sell it and not do anything, you're going to have to pay taxes, your federal tax and your state taxes. It could be anywhere from 15% to 40% or more, depending on your income bracket. So in this example, if you have a gain of $500,000 and your tax bracket is 20%, which seems pretty low, but let's say it is, then you're going to pay $100,000 in taxes. Or if you're in the 35% tax bracket, you're paying over $150,000 in taxes. So the 1031 allows you to defer your tax gains or your tax savings, technically makes you save that much. Now, you can only do a tax deferred exchange on investment properties. You cannot do it on your residential properties. You could have a residential property, then rent it out for a certain amount of years and then sell it. So that's possible. By the way, I'm an agent, I'm a realtor. I'm not a CPA or a professional attorney. So if you have any specific questions or if you're doing a transaction, please refer to your CPA or your accountant or the accommodator or the escrow company. They will guide you through the whole process if you have any questions or technical terms or specific questions. I'm just here to give you basic information. So hope you understand that. Now, moving forward, there is a timeline on when you can do a 1031 exchange or how much time you have from the time you sell your property to when you can buy a property. Typically, when you sell a property, and let's say you close of escrow today on your rental property, now starting today, you will have 180 days to close an escrow. From today till close of escrow, it has to be done within 180 days. Could be sooner, but no later than 180 days. But after the date of close of escrow, which is today in this example, they will allow you to give you 45 days, where in that time, you have to let your accommodator know in writing at least 3 properties that you intend to buy. So let's say you buy property A, property B, and property C. You can either buy all of them to do your 1031 exchange totaling to a certain amount. There are limitations on how much you can buy on your uplet property. For this example, you can buy 3 properties, you can buy 2 properties or 1 property, but they all have to be identified within 45 days. And then after 45 days, through the next 135 days, if you're paying all cash, you can close in 45 days. If you're getting a loan or if you're waiting for a property and they're trying to do another transaction and you had to wait for some reason, you have another 135 days to do that, close that transaction for that 1031 exchange to be effective. And again, that money that you sold, all that gains has to be, you cannot take those while you're doing an exchange. It has to remain in an accommodator account or an escrow account. So it has to be with them and not with you at all. Then there's other tax consequences. One of the common questions or one of the common inquiries that we get, and by the way, I've done many 1031 exchanges representing the buyer, representing the seller, and very often representing the seller and the buyer together. So one of the common questions we get is, what kind of property can we buy? So you can buy a like-kind property. What that means is you can sell a house and buy a fourplex, or you can sell a house and buy land, or you can buy a house or a land and buy commercial property, as long as it's not, it has to be real property. So you cannot say, let's say I know some people who own a lot of Subways. So you cannot sell the business of Subway and then buy real property. You cannot do an exchange in that. Unless you own the Subway and you own the building, you can sell the building and the value of the building can be exchanged, but not the value of the business. So you have to be careful. Again, ask your accountant or an attorney for that. So hopefully this is some information of value. By the way, look at this video, actually this video, and it talks about the 3 no-nos about a 1031 exchange. Again, I'm Mike Patel, and thanks for watching, and please subscribe.